What is up, guys? I'm back again with another video for you guys. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing okay. Let's get into it.
God, you call me by my name. The love you give me, I just can't deny. Yeah. No longer blinded, I can see you. I'm on my way to meet you. We gotta talk.
What is up, guys? As you can see from the title, yeah, it's gonna be one of those videos. But if this is something you're generally struggling with, make sure to keep watching this video, and I'm gonna do my best to give you advice on what you can do to help you in this situation. But before we get into it, let's give this video a like. Comment down below if you feel you want to have a few words and etc. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe, of course. Let's try and continue to keep growing this channel. I'm nothing but grateful for the support I've been receiving so far. So Lost is one of those things that I hate. I'm not gonna lie. We're not supposed to use the word hate. It's a word that I try to steer away from because it's not a good word to use. But lust is something that I'm not very fond of. I don't like talking about it. I don't like dealing with it. It's probably one of those sins that I probably dislike the most. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Lust can come in so much different ways, shapes, or forms. Immediately when we talk about the word lust, we just think about all those sexual things. And I'm going to say the words because we're all adults here, but things like pornography, sexual immorality, fornication, all these things is what's thought of when you hear the word lust. But lust isn't just those things only. The way that you look at somebody, the way that you have certain thoughts about something, things that you think about in your dreams, things that you generally struggle to get over, but you keep falling into it. And that's where the word temptation almost comes in. From the title of the video, you can see it says, this is what lust can do to you. Now, the reason why I want to go into this side of things, because we all know that lust is not something that we should be dwelling in. But what we don't seem to talk about often is the effects. One thing I dislike mainly is when I'm scrolling on TikTok and immediately it's like, you shouldn't be doing this if you're struggling with lust. If you know you're struggling with lust, do this, do that, this, that, and the third. And it's like you're just getting battered from left to right and center, instructions from left, right, and center. And it's like, hold on, guys. Let's just take a minute to pause here and let's do this stuff in love. Let's deal with things in a calmer approach so people can feel comfortable to talk about their experiences with lust. Talk about how it's making them feel. Because this is one thing that Christians don't really do as often, and it's thinking about other people's feelings. Thinking about how some things that we say make other people feel, and this is a big problem in my opinion, and it's not talked about very much. I will happily slip up my hand and say, you know what, I was one of those people that would do some TikTok videos where they may have come across pretty harsh, and sometimes I even watch them back and I'm like, whoa. But we really don't think about how people feel when we say some things, and this is why for me especially, like, I've really toned down a lot of things I've said and felt convicted and etc. We don't self-examine ourselves. We don't think about how other people feel, and like nowadays that's all I think about. I'll be honest, guys, lust is not something that you can easily just stop like that, and I feel like that's one of those things that really bugs me, because sometimes I look in comments on videos and people are like, day 365 still going strong, day 200 and this I'm still going strong, day 100 and this I'm still going strong, da 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 da. In my head I'm thinking, you can count how much days you haven't done it, but all it takes is one little slip up for you to go back to square one. And this is where the whole fighting and fleeing comes in. Because the problem with lust, it's one of those things where you have to realize it's not something you can fight. Because if you try to fight with lust, that's when you will find yourself in problems. And it's the same way when we talk about situations and arguments just in day-to-day life. If you get into an argument with someone, instead of just walking away from it and leaving it at peace, you create more problems, you create more interrogation, you create more conflict and etc. And you just make things more difficult for yourself and more stressful for yourself. And it's the same thing with lust. It's one of those things you've just got to walk away from. And I know it's a lot more easier said than done, but really and truly, if you don't just walk away from it, it's going to be something that you can really, 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 really struggle with. Now, the question is, how do you just walk away from it? And I'm going to say this again. It is really easier said than done. But it's one of those things where if you feel a certain way, if you feel like you're feeling turned on sexually, you're feeling a certain way, you get up, do something else, take your mind off it. If it means you take up your Bible, if it means you listen to gospel music, whatever you can do, even if it means you just go outside for a walk, clear your head, do whatever you can to walk away from it. And it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you just walk away from it and don't do anything that could possibly lead you into doing it again later. And the more you deal with it like that each and every day as the days go by, you also pray about it and leave it to God, because again, the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. If you pray and leave it to Him, continue going on each day and each day and each day, eventually you won't feel the need to even fall into lust. You won't even feel the need to catch yourself doing it again. But don't get me wrong, temptation will always be there. The enemy will do anything he can to tempt you. But it's how you deal with the situation. Are you going to fight it out? Or are you going to battle it out and be like, no man, I got this? Or are you just going to be like, forget it? One thing I want to stress, when you fall into sin, people don't talk about how difficult it is to get back up again. And you know, people always say, when you fall down, just get back up again and keep going. And that's something I say in quite a few of my videos, but people don't actually talk about how difficult it is. Because you got to think about it like this. If you fall down really badly, you're going to feel a lot of pain in your leg. You're going to feel pain on your arm. Depending on where you drop, you're going to feel pain somewhere in your body. And depending on how badly you fall, you'll either feel so much pain, you want to scream out, you want to cry, you feel just so much pain. You're not going to get off instantly because you're in that much pain. It just feels like you've been weighed down. So you stay on the ground and you don't get up till about 5 or 10 minutes after. But it's similar to how when you fall into lust, you feel so much shame, you feel embarrassed in the eyes of God, you feel like you've shamed God so much, you don't even feel like you want to come back to Him because the conviction is hitting you heavy. It takes so long to get back up again. So you may not be hurt physically, but spiritually, you feel like you've done the worst thing in your life. And it takes you forever to get back to where you need to be. And people don't stress that enough. But you've got to realize that God still loves you. God sees your true desires in your heart. And you have to remember, lust will always be there. And people always say, you shouldn't be getting into a relationship if you're dealing with lust. You shouldn't be bothering about marrying someone if you're struggling with lust. You shouldn't be walking into this if you're dealing with lust, this, that, and the fact. And to some partiality, they are correct. But at the same time, temptation, lustful desires, they will always be around, regardless of the situation. You can be 20 years old dealing with lust, and you can still be in your 50s dealing with lust. You can be unmarried dealing with lust, and even after you're married, you can be dealing with lust. Of course, it's not ideal, but at the same time, temptation will always come around regardless of where you are at your stage in life. And you've got to realize that. But if you genuinely feel like you're too far deep, you're never too far gone. If you're still having thoughts about how much you can still be doing for God and how much you want to gain your relationship back with God, it means you're not too far gone. No one is ever too far gone. And you have to remember that. Because God sees your true desires. He knows you don't want to be dwelling in lust. He knows you don't want to be dwelling in sin. But give yourself some grace and realize it takes time to get back up again. Still pray. Still thank Him for the next day that He's given you. Still thank Him for getting you home safely. Still thank Him for getting you to work safely and etc. But in all of this, just remember, this is not something for you to fight. This is something for you to just walk away from, leave it on to God, and carry on with your day. Whatever you can do that helps you, forget about it. Because don't get me wrong, temptation will always be there. But the more you get into the gist of it, I'm telling you, it will not even cross your mind as often as it would have once upon a time. Before I go, I just want to say, I wish somebody explained how to deal with lust in the way that I've been talking to you guys about it. If someone had told me to walk away from it and leave it onto God, rather than trying to fight with it each and every day, trying to count down how much days I have gone without doing it and this, that, and the third, I'm telling you, I feel like I would have found it so much easier to recover and things like that. Whereas I was always told, make sure that your mind isn't on it, make sure you're this, make sure you're that, don't get into a relationship if you're struggling with this, da, da, da. It's like I just got hit with all the negative sides of things, rather than hearing how to actually deal with the situation. But as I wrap the video up, remember, don't fight, flee. I hope you're able to get something from this. Sorry about that, guys. For some weird reason, I lost the rest of the footage to me closing up in the video. But make sure to give this video a like, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything you relate with or anything that you genuinely just want to talk about, feel free to say something in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. Let's get to 500 subscribers. Tell a friend to tell a friend about this YouTube channel. Many more videos like this are on the way. But turn on the notifications so you don't miss out. And I will catch you guys in the next video, which will be very soon. God bless you all. Stay safe and peace.